I want to share something we talk about all the time with our clients conducting clinical trials, knowing when to submit an IND to the FDA. If you're in the early preclinical stages of drug development, this is a decision that can validate your thinking on the development plan, or provide a way to refine the development plan given FDA's experience with multiple INDs. The key question is simple: when do you want to start clinical trials in the US? Because that's the trigger. An IND, or investigational new drug application, is your formal request to begin testing your product in humans in the US. But here's where it gets interesting. Not every program begins in the US. In fact, many sponsors start their trials abroad. Still, even if your studies are all overseas, it is valuable to open an IND in the US in order to enable access to the relevant reviewing division for guidance, and to have the option to include US sites in larger pivotal studies. Now, assuming you do plan to run part of your clinical program in the US, the next big milestone is your scientific readiness. Ask yourself, is your proof of concept compelling not just to you, but to outside experts? If it is, odds are good the FDA will see promise too. You don't need to have a full mechanism of action figured out, but you do need a strong foundation, replicated data, clear biological activity, and a reasoned hypothesis that your product can help prevent, treat, or diagnose disease. So what does enough data look like for an IND? It varies, but there are a few non-negotiables. Proof of concept scientific data, a defined clinical indication, a well-structured clinical research plan, GLP-compliant animal toxicology data, typically in 2 species, that supports your proposed trial design, manufacturing data showing you can produce the product under GMP conditions, and drug stability data under storage conditions relevant to your trial. Now, are there parts that trip people up? Absolutely. Stability data is often the final hurdle. It's common to scramble for it right before submission. And the toxicology studies? Those are complex, full of gray areas. They're not always fully GLP compliant, and figuring out what's required can be tricky. This is where experience makes a big difference. I always recommend working with someone who's done this before, whether that's a consultant, a regulatory strategist, or even engaging with the FDA directly. And on that note, please plan a pre-IND meeting. The FDA isn't just a gatekeeper, they're a development partner. I've seen firsthand how much value they bring to the table. Their feedback can clarify expectations, guide your data strategy, and help avoid costly delays. If you're starting to think about your IND strategy or realizing you need support, reach out to us at Veristat. We've helped sponsors at every stage of development prepare successful IND submissions, navigate regulatory complexity, and move confidently into clinical trials. Let's talk about how we can support your program right from the start.